Oh, I'm technically live. Oh, on the YouTube. All right, you guys get a little sneak peek into what's going on this week. Rocking my brand new Mickey Mouse t-shirt. My girlfriend got it for me for Christmas. All right. Heel Talk Radio on kaoticradio.com. I am your excellent host, the five-card stud, Jeff Maverick. I would say with me as always and give him a funky nickname, but Cole's not here today. Cole is at a Christmas party with his familia, so can't really knock him. It is the Christmas time. Am I wrong, Rich?
No, not at all.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, man, dude, Christmas is 2 days away. I'm definitely not prepared. I know most of you out there aren't prepared. If you're one of these freaks that gets your Christmas shopping done back in April, well, good for you. Good for you. Good for you. All right, so I feel bad for going on with our topic from last week without Cole being here because I know he wanted to jump in on a lot of stuff that I had to say. I took a sneak peek at his list and I checked it twice and he had some great stuff on his list. But unfortunately, due to growing pains with being in a new studio, we don't really have a way for Cole to call in or for us to call Cole and him actually be able to hear me. So, problem we had a couple months ago, we're still kind of having. I blame computers, daggum computers. I'm old, I'm crotchety, I don't understand computers. Yeah. It is what it is. Wow. It's weird not having B back there either.
Yeah, it's quite different. So much quieter.
A little bit. Well, I mean, B knew when to throw in some sound clips and shit. So, if you feel something prudent or necessary, throw it in.
I will.
I'll make a comment or five. I like to hear myself talk. I like to watch myself talk on the YouTube. Come check us out on YouTube. Search Kaotic Radio, hit the live stream. We are 2 days away from Christmas. And I'm going to give you a little present. My 5 through 1 most underrated things in wrestling history. And I'm going to warn people now, top 5 might be a little Chris Jericho heavy. Although Chris Jericho has started to repopulate, blah, blah, blah. He's been coming up again, doing a lot of great stuff in New Japan. It just made me go back and think about a lot of his stuff back in WCW in his early days of WWE. Yeah. So it's going to be a little Jericho heavy tonight. At least 2 of the last 5 have something to do with him. Yeah. So I guess maybe I should just jump right in, right?
Yeah. Make it a Jericho show.
Hey, man, I could do...
Wait, old school Monday Night Jericho.
Monday night. Oh, yeah. Or when he came into WWE, Raw is Jericho. I love that shit. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm jumping in with my number 5 right now. I was going to give Cole carte blanche and have him go first again because I liked disputing his shit. I need Stone Cold. Oh, hey, awesome. Cole is actually watching on the YouTube right now, so he can give me... Cole, give me your number 5 and the reason why. But right now I'll jump in on mine. So my number 5 is a story angle, And man, it really doesn't get enough love because it's back in WCW. Jericho, like I said, going to be Jericho heavy. I'm just going to start off with him. Jericho is in a feud with Dean Malenko, and it's a freaking amazing feud. Dean Malenko is not there. Dean for months because he's out on injury, but Jericho runs him down week after week after week. He starts doing these his famous promo from around this time was because Dean Malenko was the man of 1,000 holds. Jericho says that he was the man of 1,004 holds. He learned 4 more.
I remember he had that big ass list down too. He'd be reading all their commercial breaks.
Dude, that big long. It was the old school copy paper with the little shreddy or the dots on the side, and it was just massive. And he kept going and going. You know, a punch, a kick, a Saito suplex, a this, that. You know, and he ran him down. He ran down Dean Malenko's dead dad. Called him Boris Malenko because he's boring. And don't get me wrong, Dean Malenko, which is going to be talked about a little bit more later on. Dean Malenko did not, he wasn't the most charismatic dude in the world. Nah. At all. He was just, he was very vanilla, as people would call it. He had no personality, but what the man could do in the ring, however, was a thing of beauty. So it just keeps building and building and building. And then there's this, my favorite part of the whole angle is one of the payoffs where there's a cruiserweight battle royal and Jericho, he comes in one of those guys. Hold on. Let me bring it up. There we go. Anyway, so at Slamboree that year, there's a battle royal, and Ciclope, who's just some sort of he's a luchador. He's very famous in Mexico, but here in America, you know, in the 90s, the Mexican wrestlers, the luchadors, didn't get the love like they're getting now. So Ciclope, who was really a really underneath guy, ends up winning this battle royal to take on Chris Jericho. Jericho gets in the ring to take him on right after this match, and Ciclope just starts knocking the shit out of him. It pulls off his mask. It's goddamn Dean Malenko. Like, seriously, biggest shock that I had. I mean, and plus, I mean, the cruiserweights don't get enough love, but they're awesome. Okay, Cole's number 5. We agree, Brainbusters. Arn and Tully, one of the best tag teams ever. And yes, we do agree on this. They are one of the absolute most underrated tag teams in history. Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, original members of the Four Horsemen. They were tired of WCW, so they jump ship to WWE. They get under the tutelage of Bobby the Brain Heenan, ergo dubbed the Brainbusters. Dude, these guys, you want to talk a couple of workers, man. Arn Anderson, one of the quickest, most charismatic. I wouldn't call him a big guy. I mean, he wasn't huge, but he was definitely larger than life. He was he was an Anderson. All of those guys were, Gene Anderson, Ole Anderson, all big ass dudes. But I mean, there was definitely bigger in wrestling at the time. Tully Blanchard, I talked about him last week. He's one of the best cocky chicken shit heels in the history of wrestling. He's definitely really, really underrated. He was never the top guy. He was always just below. But you brought them together. They did a lot of tag teaming in the Four Horsemen in WCW. In WWE, just smashed people. They definitely don't get enough love. Good job, Big Daddy Cole. So I'm going to go ahead and my number 4 is going to be a guy. I mean, he's really regarded as one of the best pure technical wrestlers. Man from Blackpool, England, one Mr. William Regal. The guy is just now starting to get the respect that he really and truly deserves. He's the current general manager of NXT. Sorry, let me go ahead and flash. There we go. Current general manager of NXT, but I mean his entire history, starting in the carnivals in England at the age of, I think he was like 15, 16 years old, kind of breaking out in the European indies and in Germany for Auto Wands and just tearing it up. And then he comes over to WCW. He becomes Lord Steven Regal, and it's okay. But some of his tag partners were awesome. A young Triple H, very young Triple H was one of his partners.
Oh, what was it? Terrorizing or whatever?
No. I mean,
Before the name, right?
When Triple H first came in to WCW, yeah, he was terrorizing. Oh, God, that was horrible. But at this time, he was Jean-Paul Levac. You know, he basically played the same character that he did when he came over to the WWF. You know, just the blue blood, the aristocrat. And it worked out really well, you know, working with Regal, you know, for a little bit, I guess. But then he comes over to WWE the first time, and he's still a great worker, but he's, I wouldn't say injury prone, but he does get injured, and he's sick, and he's got drug problems. So it sets him way back. You know, he's drinking this stuff that's supposed to be like a muscle relaxer. I mean, he's in bad shape. And then on TV, he's being portrayed as the man's man. Oh. Oh, God. Man. Oh, my God. This is the crap that they had for one of the best wrestlers in the world. It's a great song, though.
No, it's catchy.
It is catchy as shit. Like, this would never work. I mean, it didn't work then.
No.
And I feel bad for the guy because he was saddled with a shit gimmick because that's what WWE wanted. I want a man's man, damn it. You know, it is what it is. But then he goes away. You don't see him on TV for a while. Goes through rehab. He goes through, you know, goes through a lot of shit. And he continues to go through a lot of shit throughout his career. But he comes back and he starts getting he gets a good push. He tags with Dave Taylor for a while. He tags with Fit Finlay. He's a part of Booker T's Royal Court, him and Fit Finlay.
Oh, and don't forget about that Eugene storyline.
Oh my God, dude! The Eugene stuff when William Regal was the Raw general, or I think he was the Raw general manager. No, because Teddy Long was the SmackDown general manager, if I'm not mistaken.
That was after Bischoff was left.
Yes, yeah, it was after Bischoff, after Mick Foley, but yeah, when he was doing the stuff with Eugene, that was some of my favorite. I loved it because he was like the Dean Martin to Eugene's Jerry Lewis. You know, he was the straight guy to the comedic dude. And they played so well off of each other. I liked it when he was with Tajiri too. Him and Tajiri, having Tajiri as like his secretary kind of dude was great. William Regal, but now he's teaching dudes how to do what he did. And it's amazing. He's doing a lot of great stuff in NXT, WWE has trusted him with reigns over the show, you know, at least on TV. You know, it's good stuff. I am very, very happy with it. So, yeah, William Regal, my number 4 most underrated. Let's see. Oh, and that was Kurt Angle, that was Cole Dawson's as well. Cole, yeah, you're right, man. One of the best in-ring performers of all time. And it was also his facial expressions. That dude had great facial expressions when he was doing promos. And his promos were always great. Cole going, his number 3 is Too Cold Scorpio. Best I've ever seen at being a powerhouse and one of the best high flyers of all time, period. Love Scorpio. He's my all-time fave 5 to watch. Fight me. All right. I mean, we're both kind of fat and slow now, Cole. I might be able to fight you.
God.
I don't know, man. I kind of liked oh, man. Dude, Cole, I hope you're listening to this, brother.
Too bad I'm not playing the video with it because this is entertaining.
Oh, I know. I wish you could throw it up on like the little second screen, but
yes.
Too much work, growing pains. Yeah, man. Too Cold Scorpio. I really dug him too. He was, I'd say, one of the ECW originals.
He was.
He was one of the guys I liked watching when I was tape trading for ECW. He was a big dude, but he could fly. Doing like 450 splashes, moonsaults, big ass motherfucker too. I think he was like 6'5", 6'6", built like a brick shithouse. Dude could fucking fly. Plus he could do all the big man shit, the big boots and the leg drops. And his first run in WWE though was just.
I used to remember a lot of dancing. That's all I remember.
He was Flash Funk.
That's right.
He was Flash Funk, supposed to be the cousin of Terry Funk, which is funnier than shit because Terry Funk's this white ass dude from Texas. Flash Funk looks like a Detroit pimp that dances a lot. But yeah, man, Too Cold Scorpio's fucking amazing. My number 3. Wow, only 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
Time's flying. Cole, you don't have a number 2 up there, by the way, dude. You go from like number 3 down to number 1. But my number 3 guy is Mick Foley. He's both overrated and underrated at the same time. A lot of people say he's overrated because he's just a glorified stuntman, to quote Ric Flair's book. But ooh.
Jack's Jack.
Bang, bang.
I just want Dude Love.
Put it up there, man. Put on Dude Love. That's one of my favorite WWE tunes. Man, okay, so my love for Mick Foley goes back ways. Ways a ways. Like, I'm talking, like, Japan. I was a little too young to actually watch his stuff from Japan when he was actually doing it, but I used to tape trade a lot back when I was in my early teens. And one of the first tapes I remember watching was King of the Deathmatch tournament, the finals. I mean, it was like the semifinals and the finals. So the finals is an exploding ring thumbtack of I don't know, dude. There's a lot of crazy shit in this King of the Deathmatch tournament. Over my years, I was able to go back and watch the entire thing. But the King of the Deathmatch tournament finals, I get to see Cactus Jack take on Terry Funk. And these guys straight up fucking murder each other. Just beating the ever-loving piss out of each other. And like right then and there, I was like, dude, this is this is awesome. I want to get more of this. I want to see more. So my first foray into Japanese wrestling was this deathmatch shit. Nowadays, I can't fucking stand death matches. To me, it's. I mean, I don't mind the ultra violence. What I don't like is these guys tearing themselves apart for a hot dog and a handshake.
Like your most recent example would be David Arquette.
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah.
David Arquette had something to prove, not only to the fans of wrestling, but to himself. He agreed to do that match. My only problem is he almost fucking died.
Well, he wasn't trained for that properly.
Yeah, he was.
He was? I
Yeah.
thought the story was.
Yeah. Richard, I say this in the most lovingly way possible, but fuck you bullshit. That dude right there trained hard as fuck for that match with my boys Ray Rosas and Peter Avalon at the Santino Brothers dojo. The dude worked his ass off, number one, to get into shape to do that match.
Especially at 45 is that? Right?
Yeah, he's got to be getting, at least 45.
Us, at least, so.
Yeah. He worked his ass off. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sidebar on that because, David Arquette, I got mad respect for that dude. Yeah, he won the WCW title a bullshit way. Yeah. It is what it is. It was 20 fucking years ago. This dude is now trying to make up for some bullshit that Vince goddamn Russo decided to pull. So much respect for David Arquette. But yeah, he was trained hard.
I read that wrong then.
Okay. Now, was he trained to do deathmatch wrestling? Fuck no, he wasn't. Because that's not what those trainers are all about. They can do that shit, but they're legit great wrestlers. I can't say enough about Peter Avalon and Ray Rosas. Those guys are two of the best goddamn workers in Southern California right now. There is your little bit of indie for this week. I'm gonna get to more indie stuff real soon. Cole and I we're gonna have a deep dive into some of the indies because Bernard did a little bit of market research for me, and people want to learn more about what's going on the indies.
Well, it's kind of a hot thing right now, dude. A certain little group. I don't know if you heard of them.
You talking about that group, the Elite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a nice little resurgence.
Bullet Club's better.
Yeah.
I don't get me wrong, man. I love the Elite.
I like both. Yeah, I see your point.
I love the Elite. I wish they were still a part of the Bullet Club, but it was time to do something.
I would say money in politics and just not great booking because that whole thing where they're split, there's Civil War, that nothing happened. I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it happened.
And Cody's fucking amazing. The Bucks, we all know that I have a certain love for the Young Bucks. They kicked my son in the fucking face. And it was amazing. Well, they kicked me in the fucking face too, but my son gets all the credit. I mean, that kid went to bat for me, got himself kicked in the fucking face. Plus, they're from right up the road over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Rancho Cucamonga boys. Hangman Adam Page, like him. He's doing some big things in ROH. Kenny fucking Omega. I've been watching Kenny Omega for years.
You got kind of resurged with Christopher Daniels because he's always been big, but now he's like, once again, him and SoCal Uncensored.
Oh, hell yeah. Him and Scorpio?
Yeah.
Too cold, or not too cold. Scorpio Sky?
Yeah, Scorpio Sky. You got the whole Flip Gordon thing.
I like Flip Gordon. Scorpio Sky is from this city.
Wow, really?
He went to Montclair High. In fact, he used to be billed as the greatest athlete from Montclair High. Yeah. Scorpio's a bud. I like him. He's a good dude. Yeah, man, Rich, now that you're getting back into the indies, I'm going to have to take your ass to some shows.
All right.
We'll go to some shows. That way you could be maybe our permanent engineer. Slip you a Mickey.
That works. Or buy me a beer. I'm good.
Hey, man. I stop off at 7-Eleven every day when I come down here, so we're good. Cole Dawson says, I'm listening.
Sorry, Cole.
Sorry, Cole. You still need to tell me your number 2. Anyway, oh God. I'm a dumbass. My number 2, though, is another Jericho angle. This time from his early days in the WWE. I think it was WWE at that time. Maybe it may have been WWF still.
I think it was, because wasn't it when he was Universal Champion? It was around the time of transition?
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of when it transitioned.
Because I remember he joined like way before the whole lawsuit. So.
Oh, dude, Jericho jumped out of WCW at the absolute best time.
Yeah.
It was like 1998, 99, right in there. Was awesome. He got out before the ship sank. God. So back in 2003, there was another Chris Jericho angle that really doesn't get enough love. It's his feud with Shawn Michaels. And this one's kind of special for me because it's my favorite wrestler. And my favorite wrestler, I'm an absolute Shawn Michaels mark. Cole will tell you. I'll tell you 10,000 times how much I love Shawn Michaels because I'm all believing that Brett screwed Brett. Ha! Cole's not here to argue. Cole's not here to argue.
Could still YouTube comments. Block.
Anyway. Oh, ooh, yeah, Cole. I'm definitely gonna talk about that one. So Jericho and Shawn Michaels. Jericho idolized Shawn Michaels growing up, like a lot of guys my age did. Yeah. You know, we all thought Shawn Michaels was the coolest, man, telling people to suck it and, you know, hanging out with Mike Tyson and all that, man. You know, we fucking love Shawn Michaels. DX. You know, so Shawn Michaels basically says that to Jericho one time, you're just trying to be me. And Jericho goes, no, I'm not trying to be a second-rate you. I'm trying to be a first-rate me. You know, trying to show Shawn Michaels that he's better, which... Quite frankly, Chris Jericho is probably the best all-around sports entertainer in the history. In all the annals. The annals of history. You just like watching me say anal, don't you? You
it's
sick,
funny.
You sick bastard.
I am a
you.
degenerate after all. So.
You are a degenerate. Pompous degenerate. Listen to Beer Snobs later. Oh.
Not official yet.
Meh. Yeah. It is what it is. But this feud had everything. I mean, it had great promos. It had amazing wrestling. Culminated with the WrestleMania match. Jericho, Shawn Michaels. Just phenomenal match. Absolutely great. Yeah. I know I ramble a little bit when Cole's not here. He kind of keeps me in check. So the match ends. Jericho hugs Shawn Michaels. They go to raise the arm, and Jericho kicks him right in the nuts. Best blow off to an angle ever.
I say that's like slowly the seed of the current Jericho you see when you especially there's
oh yeah,
and remember his thing with the Punk too.
Oh,
liquor down his throat.
Oh, dude. Okay, see that's another sidebar angle there. Thank you for bringing that one up. Yeah, his angle with Punk.
Yeah,
that was fucked up.
I love Jericho, but I love when he's being a complete dick.
Oh yeah, Jericho's a good heel, or sorry, Jericho's a good face. I like it when he's a face, but he's a better heel. Yeah. And like the shit he's doing in Japan right now, fuck man. He came in at All In, dressed up as Penta OM.
And it's best the side stories, the story behind stage about how Penta brought the wrong costume.
Yeah, so Jericho
Like spray painting and shit.
had to fucking spray paint it. He's getting high off the fumes as he's walking down to where he's going, and he got it to where it looked almost like what Penta was wearing that night.
Yeah.
Got it close enough. I mean, Jericho, we could talk all night about Jericho. This ain't the Jericho show.
Yeah.
This ain't Raw as Jericho, Monday Night Jericho, but I am a Jerichoholic. So Cole's number 2, the Hart Foundation heel run. This is true. Oh, the Hart Foundation heel run was awesome. I'm going to say that about everything because everything is awesome. Everything is good. Sorry. So even though there's only 2 guys in the entire Hart Foundation that are Canadian, they were doing this whole pro-Canada shtick, which when they're in Canada was great. They were the baby faces. You know, Canada was like, yay, Hart Foundation, with their sideways flopping heads, you know. All right, hey, come on, guy. So when they're in Canada, they're faces, and Canada loves them. But when they're in America, because they're doing anti-America shit, oh, I didn't like that open.
There you go.
I have to hear this literally like once a month now.
Just pump you up for the gym.
Cole's all-time favorite wrestler of all time, the one that he fucking sucks nuts on, is Bret Hart, which I will give credit where credit is due. The heel Hart Foundation is probably one of my top 5 favorite factions. Mainly because it's got Brian goddamn Pillman in it. Brian Pillman's one of my favorite wrestlers. But it also had British Bulldog. British Bulldog was doing some of his best shit at this time. He was jacked to the gills. He could fly around the fucking ring. He's an amazing wrestler. Owen Hart. Owen Hart, to me, is the better Hart. I will say that all day long and fucking fight me. I don't care. Owen Hart should have been pushed to the fucking moon. He should have been the goddamn champion. He should have beat Bret in the fucking cage for the goddamn championship. Plain and simple. The torch should have been passed right then and there. Then there would never have been a Montreal screw job, and Bret Hart probably would have had a great career in the WWF.
Yeah, not the whole I would say dismal WCW.
Oh, dude, his WCW run was a complete fucking shit show. Excuse my French. I know my son is listening. Yeah. We'll edit it out in post.
Yeah.
Not really. You guys listen to me so you can hear the real shit. But and then you got probably one of the most underrated big men in wrestling, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, may rest in peace. Just died not too long ago. Jim Neidhart had the energy that Bret Hart did not have. So all of the sum of the whole, I mean,
all together.
Yeah, it worked. It worked all together. All these guys really did complement each other. And it gave birth to, just like Cole says. Oh, yeah, shut up. That's right. The nut kick was the beginning of the angle. I'm remembering my shit wrong. That was the Jericho, Shawn Michaels. Yeah, the nut kick was the beginning. My bad, Cole. Remembering my shit backwards. Anyway, yeah, so Hart Foundation gave birth to DX because Shawn Michaels was doing all this shit to get under Bret Hart's skin, even though they were the heels. I mean, it was fucked up. It also, the heel faction of Hart Foundation also led to the Stone Cold Steve Austin gun angle. It led to, I don't know, probably, it led to a lot of great angles in and of itself. It led to Owen Hart becoming a part of the Nation of Domination and not being a nugget, and their feud with DX, and it gave birth to factions working as a group, because really before a lot of them, like in WWF, there wasn't a lot of factions. There was stables, there was a manager who had a group of dudes, but they weren't really,
like, for example, $1 Million Corporation.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
There's Jimmy Hart's stable.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. The Hart Foundation started out as Jimmy Hart. It was his stable of wrestlers that Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart were a part of. And then the Hart Foundation became, because it was Jim Neidhart and Bret Hart, so they just kept that. But before those stable, it was all stables. Then now it was factions. Led to the gang wars of WWF in the 90s, and Los Boricuas and fucking Disciples of Apocalypse. Yeah, I mean, it gave birth to all that shit too.
The corporate ministry.
Yeah. Now factions are kind of run into the ground. Although there's a faction on NXT right now that I'm really digging the shit out of. The Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, baby!
The ghost of Adam Cole.
Yes. I fucking love Adam Cole.
I mean, technically they did hit Sandy, but they really kind of, I don't know what they're... It was just kind of there, but not really used.
Well, Sanity is on SmackDown now.
Yeah.
They're
just random appear and then don't do anything.
Yeah, it happens. And see, that's another underrated thing. Factions. Factions are overrated and underrated.
Granted, I know with the NWO went crazy.
Wait till next week's show.
Sorry, I was an NWO fan, but even I meant it went too out of control. It should have remained a small group, not half the fucking Worcester.
Oh, you know what, dude? Cole, you're over there. I'm over here. You can't argue.
What is he arguing about now?
You're so wrong. Owen is second by far. Fuck you. You know what? It goes Owen, then it goes Smith, then it goes Keith, and then maybe Brett. Yeah, argue with me now, funny man. I love Cole. Miss you, buddy. Merry Christmas. Cole does agree that Owen should have been champ. Man. So we're down to number 1, and we've got 20 minutes left. Hell, Richard, at the end of this, we'll go into some indie discussion. We'll listen. We'll get your top 5 favorite indie wrestlers right now, and they can't all be the dudes in the elite. Okay, so I'm gonna go with Cole's number 1 first. Cole's number 1 is Jake the Snake Roberts. He may be the best all-around performers of all time, best promo guy, and everything in the ring mattered and felt real. This is true. And Jake the Snake Roberts was really one of the first guys that I started watching to do promo work. I loved the way his promos were, because he would be where everybody would be up here and we're going to come to your town. I'm going to kick your ass and take your championship. Jake the Snake Roberts was down here, and you had to listen to what he was saying at all times. It was just so engaging, and everything he did looked real. Yeah. He threw a punch. It looked like it hurt like a son of a bitch. Plus, he invented the goddamn DDT, the most overused move of 2014. Yeah, I know that was 4 years ago. Yeah. But everybody and their dog threw a DDT. Everybody and their dog throws a DDT now. But it was a move that he invented on accident. It was years and years ago. Has a dude in a headlock, like a front face lock, right? And he tripped and fell and legitimately drove the dude's head into the ground and knocked him out. and it was born. It was best goddamn. I love the DDT, but
yeah, I mean, especially one of my old favorites was usually Raven when he did the DDT. It was just so flawless.
Yes, Raven's even flow DDT.
Yeah. Oh, the Raven effect.
the Raven effect. Actually, if you want to listen to a decent podcast, I know that I always bitch at Cole for plugging other podcasts, but I recently started listening to Raven's podcast, The Raven Effect. Not half bad, not half good. It is what it is. It's definitely better than the bullshit that Conan has. Sorry, K-Dog. I know you ain't listening, but who fucking cares? Oh, I gave Cole goosebumps when I was doing the Jake the Snake, Robert.
Really?
Yeah. Well, Jake, back to being Jake, Jake the Snake. He had his issues. He did. And he's struggling with those issues. I mean, he's overcome a lot of them.
Yeah,
through DDP yoga, he's a little bit more mobile than what he was, but he had his drug issues. Yeah. Lots of drug issues. But there was nobody, and I mean fucking nobody, better in the WWF when he was in there. Nobody. Hulk, the only reason he wasn't the number one guy was because Hulk Hogan was in the WWF. And they were both working babyface. So he was always the number two. And it's bullshit. I mean, Jake Roberts, he can make you listen to his promos. He can make you watch his matches and believe. It didn't matter if it was Andre the fucking Giant, Big John Studd. It didn't matter if it was Coco Beware or Nikolai Volkov. I mean, Jake made you believe he was going to go in there. He was going to fuck that dude up and then throw a goddamn snake on him.
As everybody's just popping for snakes. I remember when he came back for one of the anniversaries of Raw, and you see he threw in Dean Ambrose, and the smile on Dean Ambrose's face.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Sure, his best to hide him. I'm like, you're just enjoying the shit out of that.
Of course he is. I mean, it's getting to do some shit with a legend that he used to do when you were a little kid watching TV. One of my favorite little pops that I got was when Jake let the Cobra loose on Macho, and the son of a bitch bit Macho Man Randy Savage and wouldn't fucking let go. Oh, goddamn, dude. Yeah, if I didn't already bring up Jake Roberts in my top 10, he would probably have topped this list. But I talked about him. Cole, you're right, man. Jake the Snake Roberts is definitely your number one most underrated thing of all time in wrestling. Mine would have to be the Indies / the territory system. It really does not get as much love. I mean, it's starting to now.
Yeah.
It really is. Over the last 5-6 years. I mean, everybody knew about the Indies. Everybody knows about the little underground, I worked in the Indies. Cole worked in the Indies. We all grew up as fans of the business. And to get in there and to see these guys that I've worked with in the past come up and get their shot at the WWF and then get so underutilized that it makes me sick, really, honestly.
You get a lot of hype, then it's like, oh.
Yeah. Like, excuse me. Monster, Mango Loco. Anyway, like Kevin Steen. Kevin Owens now. Yeah. Kevin Owens came into NXT with a bang. Came in, beat Sami Zayn for the title. Ended up going up to WWE, beat John Cena for the U.S. title on his first fucking match.
And remember that the classic, he was holding the next title over the U.S. title.
Mm-hmm.
Was he stepping on it?
Yep. And now what? What's he doing?
He's come back from injury, but it's really just after the Festival of Friendship with Jericho feud.
Exactly.
Nothing. I mean, him and Sami Zayn, they did some interesting stuff, but it just it was undercard thrown on.
I love heel Sami Zayn because he's not doing anything different. He's not really cutting heel promos. They didn't really change anything about him. Now he's doing all the goofy shit he did to annoy you. Mm-hmm. I love it. I wish there was more of it. I wish the stuff that him and Owens were doing got continued, but it doesn't because WWE cannot get their fucking head out of their ass long enough to see that these two guys are talented.
Yeah.
As a tag team, oh my God. I used to love watching them in PWG. Stenerico.
Yeah.
It was so good. Some of the tag team matches they had against the Young Bucks, some of the tag matches they had against fucking Pac and the other guy. I mean, they were good. Kevin Steen, Mr. Wrestling Kevin Steen. So good. And El Generico. Then they come up to the WWF and flounder.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, they did that. They have better time in Next.
NXT.
Sorry. But
not Next.
Sorry.
God.
I'm tired as hell.
You're so white.
Yeah, I know. But it's like,
So
especially
white.
like say Sammy's match with Shinsuke. That was just like you just see everybody. You see on his face like this is happening.
Oh hell yeah! Or his match with with Tyler Breeze. It was great. Like he legit made Tyler Breeze look awesome. But I digress. The indies are starting to make that bubble.
Yeah.
You know, you feel that rumble. And wrestling is starting to become cool again, which I love this.
It's really weird watching though, but
dude, I walked through the freaking mall earlier today and I saw no less than 5 Bullet Club shirts.
You go through Hot Topic and just like you see this entire rack full of it. My favorite was the Bullet Club belt.
Okay, I came this close today to buying Bullet Club pajama pants. This close. They didn't have my size. But I mean, it's not even just, Bullet Club shit in there anymore. They've got the Jericho stuff. They've got the Saito stuff. They've got freaking Okada. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You look up there, there's like 15 different dudes that don't work for the WWE. They've got Joey Ryan t-shirts up there. I mean, that dude is the king of motherfucking dong style.
Yes.
And Joey, we hope that you're getting, you're healing up. Tore his pectoral muscle.
Yeah, I remember it was like right after the whole Triple H tour.
Yeah. God. They're the bicep bruise clan now. Him and Triple H. It was literally in the same week.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's something 10 years ago you would never know because WWE had all the exposure. If that shit would have happened, 10 years ago, yeah, we would know about what happened with Triple H because they would show it 25 fucking times on WWE TV. But the internet has just started popular. Why the fuck can I not say that goddamn word tonight? Popularizing the internet or the indies. So now we do get to learn what's going on with Joey Ryan. Now we know who a guy like Joey Ryan is because he's got 8 million fucking followers on Instagram and everything his dick touches turns to gold. And because we're learning a lot more about the American indies, we're starting to learn more about other parts of the world and their wrestling culture, like What Culture Wrestling, or sorry, they're now called Defiant, I believe.
Defiant. Then you got the old people doing Cultaholic.
Yeah. Shut up, Adam Pacitti. God, you're not that funny. Anyway,
it's also a lot better because like old internet used to be, you have a couple boards posting information.
Mm-hmm.
But you now got like the the subreddits. You can gain popularity watching the matches on YouTube. You got a lot more ways to spread this.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know that shit's getting real. Oh yeah, we're totally gonna fight on the next list. Cole, Hulk Hogan's overrated. Anyway, I mean, we just had All In.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, we should just call that the World Cup of the Indies. Because, I mean, that's what it was. I mean, it was a stacked show from bottom to top.
I mean, that's the first wrestling pay-per-view I've watched in a couple years at least.
Well, the fact that it was bankrolled by those three guys.
Yeah.
Cody and the Bucks. I mean, dude, they filled the fucking arena. It was
sold out, what, 30 minutes?
Something like that. I mean, it was freaking amazing. And Dave goddamn motherfucking Meltzer from the fucking Wrestling Observer said that they couldn't do it. So they took that as a challenge, and they fucking did. Just goes to show you how over not only the Young Bucks and Cody are, but how over wrestling is in general. Yeah. They also, that weekend, they had StarCast, which was just all things wrestling. It was a wrestling convention, and it had a bunch of podcasters there, one of them being my favorite, Mr. Conrad Thompson. Hey, it's Conrad. But wrestling podcasting is becoming a major money business again, or now.
Yeah, because first means right now you got Austin, Jericho, Taz.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
I'm saying, but your bigger ones.
Yeah, I mean, and with Taz is actually doing radio.
And plus, I guess we got to mention Colt Cabana.
You know what? Colt Cabana is the godfather of wrestling podcasting. I mean, shit, dude, you could get a lot of goddamn information now about the indies through his new format is different because of the whole trial thing.
Yeah, I know.
But I still like it because it's like little snippets, couple minute interviews with different wrestlers. And that format is working very well for him. Jericho's podcast is just, there are times I love it. There are times I hate it.
I hear the list with Sammy is actually interesting.
I'm actually going to listen to that one at work tomorrow when I'm, getting my property cleaned. But see, that's kind of what I want to do with this show. Yeah, we're going to talk about WWF a lot, WWE, WCW, ECW. We're going to talk about that a lot because that's what I grew up watching. And to be quite honest, I mean, it was fucking great back when I was a kid. In my early adult years, it not so great, but there was still some great stuff. But I want to talk more about the indies. I want to talk more about Japan and the UK scene and the scene in Germany and I mean, wrestling is not just an American thing anymore. I mean, we can see wrestling from Mexico right now. Yeah. We can see wrestling from Japan right now. In fact, in a couple of weeks, we're going to be watching fucking Wrestle Kingdom. Hell yes, we're going to be watching Wrestle Kingdom. I'm going to get it here, and hopefully, we can do a watch-along. It'll be a 3 o'clock in the morning watch-along. But God damn it all, if it ain't going to be amazing. Yeah. And the fact that New Japan can now come to America and sell out the Long Beach Arena. I mean, come on. 10 years ago, that wouldn't have happened.
No.
Not at all. 5 years ago, that wouldn't have happened.
I mean, they got the Super Show during WrestleMania weekend with ROH in the Madison Square Garden. You would never imagine that happening.
Never in a million years. Guaranteed they're gonna fucking smoke all records because people like hardcore wrestling fans, not even hardcore, man. My son, who was a straight up WWE guy forever. I mean, he's only 12, but regardless, he's a WWE guy. Not anymore. That dude's watching ROH. He's watching New Japan. He's watching I've taken him to 2 PWG shows. I mean, that kid loves wrestling. And it's not just stuff in America anymore. We will go on incessantly about New Japan because, quite frankly, it's better than anything going right now. The matches are believable. You may not be able to understand the promos, but you can understand emotion.
Yeah.
And you can understand story, I mean, it's just great stuff. Great stuff. Oh, Richard. It's almost that time.
Yeah, I got 9 minutes.
9 minutes. Son of a bitch. All right, Richard.
Oh, actually.
No, we got
2 minutes.
We got 2 minutes.
I give you a little overrun by mistake.
All right, so Richard, in 1 minute, give me your top 5 favorite indie guys right now with a
minimum of the elite.
Minimal elite and a brief description. So I'll give you a minute and 10 seconds. Go. Number 5.
Walter, because he damn scares me. Even though technically he signed next or
NXT.
Sorry, NXT UK.
Uh-huh.
There's still I've seen some matches. I'm like, that dude looks like he hurt you.
Uh-huh. Number 4.
Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay.
Very talented.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If your slash Will Ospreay is not on there. No. Okay. Number 3.
Even though I wasn't a big fan of him when he re-debuted Jay White. I didn't believe him at first when he was doing the whole Switchblade. But he's coming to his own.
Now he's part of the Bullet Club.
Yeah, which is weird.
No, it's not.
I mean,
fuck that, dude. He fits.
He fits.
Bad Boy Tomatonga and Bad Luck Fale.
Yeah, they just blew it how they did it, where they could have been a little better. He snuck in during the Civil War.
Yeah. All right, number 2.
I get Jay Lethal.
Okay, dude.
I've always been a fan of him, especially when he was in TNA with the whole.
Oh yeah, the Black Machismo Jay Lethal.
He'll hold his own, and he's believable champion.
And number 1, the Elite.
Kenny Omega.
Just go ahead and say the whole Elite.
Yeah, the Elite.
The Elite, which is okay. Yeah. It's fine. They're great. The sum of the whole is great.
And they've passed away. If we're using the being elite, how originally was just road stories to these skits. They found a way to translate that to get people watching. Or your commenters make this is better than Monday Night Raw.
My favorite being the Elite / Young Bucks videos are the ones where they fuck up Santa. Every time. My favorite Young Bucks video is when they kick my son in the face. Watch it now on YouTube. All right. So that is my time. This is the place. Heel Talk Radio on kaoticradio.com. I want to wish all of you guys a Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, joyous Yule, Happy Hanukkah. There we go.
Festivus.
Yes, Festivus for the rest of us. And we will see you next week, hopefully, 8 p.m. PST on kaoticradio.com or on the YouTubes. Just search Kaotic Radio Live.
See you later, man.